The first Eucharistic miracle in the world. The miracle of Lanciano. More than 1,200 years ago, in a small Italian town, something happened that would shake the faith of a doubting priest and become one of the most famous miracles in history. This is the real story of the Eucharistic miracle of Lanciano. A story about doubt, faith, and the living presence of Jesus in the Holy Eucharist. There was a priest struggling with a doubt. In the 8th century, in a quiet, beautiful monastery in the town of Lanciano, in Italy, there lived a Basilian Roman Catholic priest. He celebrated Mass every day. He preached about Jesus. But deep inside his heart, he struggled with a painful doubt. He wondered, is Jesus truly present in the Eucharist? Is the bread really his body? Is the wine truly his blood? He believed with his lips, but his heart was restless. Perhaps you know this feeling. Sometimes even people of faith struggle with doubt. Even the Apostle Thomas once doubted the presence of Jesus Christ. In the Holy Bible, in the Gospel according to John, chapter 20, verse 25, the Word of God says, "Unless I see the mark of the nails in his hands and put my finger in the mark of the nails, I will not believe." This priest carried the same kind of struggle. Yet he continued to celebrate Mass. The day everything changed. One morning, the priest stood at the altar to celebrate the Holy Mass. The church was quiet. The faithful were praying. The priest reached the most sacred moment of the Mass, the consecration. He lifted the host and repeated the words of Jesus. "This is my body." Then he lifted the chalice. "This is my blood." And suddenly, something incredible happened. Right before his eyes, the host changed. It was no longer bread. It became real human flesh. The wine in the chalice changed as well. It became real blood. The priest froze in shock. His hands trembled. His doubt vanished in an instant. The priest begins to cry. Standing at the altar, the priest realized what had happened. Jesus had answered his doubt. The Eucharist truly was the body and blood of Christ. Overcome with emotion, the priest began to cry. He turned to the people in the church and said, "Come and see. God has revealed himself." The congregation rushed forward. They saw the miracle with their own eyes. On the altar was visible flesh, and in the chalice was blood. The church filled with awe and fear. Everyone realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. What Jesus had said long ago. This miracle reminded the people of something Jesus had said many centuries earlier. In the Holy Bible, in the Gospel according to John, chapter 6, verse 53, the Word of God says, "Very truly, I tell you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you." Many people had struggled to understand these words. Even some of Jesus' disciples walked away because they thought his teaching was too difficult. But the miracle of Lanciano showed that Jesus meant exactly what he said. The Eucharist is not just a symbol. It is truly Christ himself. The miraculous flesh and blood were carefully preserved by the Church. Pilgrims began traveling from many countries to see the miracle. Centuries passed. Kings came. Saints came. Ordinary people came. All of them stood before the miracle in silence. But perhaps the most astonishing moment came many centuries later. Scientists examined the miracle. In the 1970s, the Church allowed scientists to study the relics. The results shocked the scientific world. The flesh was discovered to be human heart tissue. The blood was found to be real human blood. Even more astonishing, the blood type was AB. The same blood type identified on another famous Christian relic, the Shroud of Turin. Scientists also found something even more mysterious. The blood had coagulated into 5 separate clots. Yet each clot weighed exactly the same as all 5 together. Something scientifically impossible. The miracle seemed to go beyond the laws of nature. A sign for the world. Why would God allow such a miracle? Perhaps for the same reason Jesus performed miracles in the Gospel. To strengthen faith. To remind people that God is real. In the Holy Bible, in the Gospel according to John, chapter 6, verse 35, the Word of God says, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry." The Eucharist is not ordinary bread. It is the living presence of Christ. A gift given to believers in every Mass. The miracle still exists today. Even today, the miraculous flesh and blood are preserved in Lanciano, Italy. Pilgrims from around the world continue to visit. They kneel in silence before the relic. Many leave with tears in their eyes, because the miracle reminds them of something powerful. Jesus is truly present in the Eucharist. Not symbolically, not metaphorically, but truly and mysteriously. What this means for us. The priest in Lanciano began with doubt. But God transformed that doubt into faith. And maybe this miracle carries a message for us today. If we approach the Eucharist with faith, we are not simply receiving bread. We are receiving Christ Himself. The same Jesus who healed the sick. The same Jesus who calmed the storm. The same Jesus who died on the cross and rose again. He comes to us in the Holy Eucharist. The miracle of Lanciano reminds us that the Mass is not ordinary. It is heaven touching earth. In the Holy Bible, in the Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 26, verse 26, the Word of God says, "Take, eat, this is my body." These words were spoken by Jesus 2,000 years ago. And every time a priest celebrates Mass, those same words echo again. A mystery. A miracle. A gift of love from Christ to His people.